place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, stay not safe. Before you cross me, look both ways. Leaving the scene with no trace. None in my league, you out of place. I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, state to state.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay, and I'm here with one of my white whales, if you would say. Somebody I've tried to get on the podcast a few times, and the messages have gone unignored, but I put him on the spot, and he's here now. Please help me welcome Punch, Kick, Chop, Tarik.
This is a special moment here because I don't really do like podcast interviews, you know.
I know.
And people ask me why. It's like I don't know, man.
Is there a reason why?
I don't want to overexpose myself, man.
But you know that I always keep it on the 100. I never ask any questions that are unprofessional. Like, we're going to leave certain things definitely off the table, which I'm assuming you already know which those things are. But one question I do have. You're such a talent, and I've said it so many times in all the prediction shows and even when I'm doing commentary, I never have a bad thing to say about you because you're phenomenal. You really are.
Yeah.
But the bad thing I do say about you is you've aligned yourself with a complete and utter moron in Haze. Haze sucks. Actually, he's right here on the shirt. Haze, elephant cock.
You made that shirt.
I got a shirt made, yeah. And I'm so proud of this shirt.
So what's the problem? You just don't like him?
I don't like him. I don't like the fact he's born in Oshawa, one of the worst cities in Ontario.
You got a point there.
I do. Thank you. But why align yourself with You're a mouthpiece on your own. You don't need a Haze.
I know, man. I know. People always ask me that. Why do you align yourself with Adam Hayes? Mm-hmm. The thing is, like, we got a bit of a history, man.
I know you do.
We go back. We go back. Different promotions. He somehow finds a way to either lure me in or just trying to. It's all business related, but we tend to link up, right? And I can't knock what he's doing because it brings me success. I know I'm talented. In all fairness, really, it kind of needs me, you know. In all fairness, right, you know. But
no, it's true.
We're working in a situation where I understand what he's trying to do. This is 100% business, man. Okay. 100%.
So this is a necessity for business only.
This is business only, right?
Okay.
Right.
All
we
right.
got some good here at New Frontier, right? Starting to build some buzz. We're getting some interesting names doing this Marcast Buster Challenge, and you know he's here by my side. He's not wronged me yet.
But he's giving you advice that I don't think you need. Like, he'll be out there shouting instructions to you, and you don't need that. You already know how to get out of situations. You don't need him there.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man. I appreciate the idea of him helping me. Mm-hmm. There are times where I'm, you're right, man. Like, I mean, I've been wrestling for 12 years now. Mm-hmm. And
at a very high level, I must say.
Thanks, man. So I end up in a lot of scenarios where he's barking, and I hear it, and sometimes it pisses me off. But then I collect myself and say, well, no, Tarik, let's not go down that route.
Right.
Let's just keep going because it's doing this, right?
Yeah, you don't want to unlock a door that you could never relock.
Well, not yet, man. You know, I'm a risk taker, but at the same time, calculated risk taker. You know?
I like that. I noticed that when you're actually in the ring, because a lot of people don't appreciate the fine art of storytelling. Yeah. I always say wrestling is the great dance. When you can find that dance partner that can coexist with you telling this story without words, like the honor is for us, the commentators, to narrate. We're the narrators of the story. But you guys are putting pen to paper. You guys are the storytellers. Yeah. Have there ever been a situation where you've been put into a match and you're like, you don't know the opponent that well, maybe it's their first time wrestling you or your first time wrestling them, and you're trying to figure things out, and when you're playing the match, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work, and all of a sudden it kind of comes together, and you're like, yo, that was way more fire than I expected it to be.
Yeah, that's at this point in my career, I am wrestling a lot of newer guys. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's layover of 2-3 years of the pandemic, but you're wrestling a lot of second, third year, fourth year people who, you know, when I started, man, nobody wanted to give me a chance. Nobody wanted to have that match with me. Nobody wanted to give me, hey, let's give this guy something, right? Mm-hmm. It was just, you go out there 2 minutes and that's it, sell 20 tickets for your people and we'll give you nothing, and, you know. Yeah. So I like to be a part of the crusade of changing that, you know, of giving people opportunities.
I like that.
You know, because I like to wrestle, man. You know, I like to work, and I like to work hard. I wrestle at a certain level, and I want, you know, hopefully the aim of this is to elevate my opponent, right? Whether I haven't been in the ring with him or not, it's a good testing or proving opportunity for them, right, to see if they can hang.
Stomping ground, proving ground. Yes,
This is
yes,
it, man.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Just so to answer your question, yeah, man. There are times I've never wrestled some of these guys ever. I've never, barely even seen some of their work, right? But we hook it up, and you might get something that's good. You might get something that, okay, it's a little off, and then you do it again sometime down the road, and it's better, man. So that's the idea. Constant improvement. You know what I mean? Not to say
I like that.
I'm this old veteran that's kind of hanging around, but I like to think of myself as somebody who has a little bit of knowledge. And when you have a match with me, you're going to learn something, right? As an opponent, right? As somebody in the match, right? I don't have the answers. I mean, wrestling is very opinionated, but I like to think the things that I do, it could be universally taught to anybody who wants to become a wrestler, right?
Absolutely. It's interesting that you mentioned that in your early days, because I did do my research. I always do my research well ahead of things, even though I wasn't sure if this was going to happen. I always like to research and keep up on people. And your story, like you mentioned, very early on, you didn't get those opportunities. You kind of had to kick the door in. And I guess in your head, you always had that thought, well, when I get to those spots, when I get to the point where I am a veteran and I am more experienced, or I can start to pass down knowledge and I can start changing things, I'm going to. But who was the one person, I guess, that gave Tarik the opportunity to be Tarik, and then it just kind of built from there?
Sebastian Suave.
Smash Wrestling.
Yep. Smash Wrestling, Sebastian Suave. Right. He gave me opportunities, right? And said, run with it, man. Here's the matches. Here are the names in 2015, 2016, 2017. Super Kick is another one. Gave me a lot of opportunities, a lot of high-profile matches. So those guys helped me a lot, man. You know what I mean? So you can only go out there and the match is here, but you have to be able to perform, right? And deliver, right? So Super Kicked, Smash, a bit of Destiny early on, right? And that kind of just gets the ball rolling, right? Death Proof kind of chimes in. Oh, we can use this guy. Yeah, Warhead too, man. He was the Death Proof Heavyweight Championship was the first belt I won as a singles competitor, like a heavyweight title, like the main title. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep, and I won it on my birthday, October 25th, 2015.
There's no other. That's the greatest birthday gift that you could probably get as a wrestler.
Yeah.
To win a title on your birthday.
Yeah. No, that's the first main promotion, main title, right? Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you? Well, the great thing about you is that you're hybrid. You can do so many different styles. You can go hardcore if you need to. You can go into a slugfest, of course. I don't know anybody who would be stupid enough to go into a slugfest with you. Because when your moniker is punch, kick, chop, it literally is all those things and then some.
Yeah.
Now, I know the mini host asked you, which one do you feel that you hit harder? I didn't hear the answer because I was actually off camera. But what was the answer? Because we're recording this right after, so I won't know until I edit.
Yeah, so the answer is chops.
So chops are your go-to.
Chops, yeah, chops are my go-to. Some of the wrestlers don't really like it, but
No.
I often think to myself, well, I try to throw it in as my persona, right? I know it's a wrestling move and whatnot, but if you can do it and make it look better than 90% of all other wrestlers, I think that's where you find money as a wrestler promoting yourself, right? If you can do something that resonates with people much more than anybody else doing it, like I wouldn't claim to be a high flyer, I've tried it and it's not my thing, so you don't do it. I don't try to, right? You're never going to be the best at that, right? And striking is something that I've always prided myself on, right? I like to mix it up and change it up and do different ones and whatnot, and little combinations of it and variations of it. Right.
You really do. There are so many layers.
Yeah.
Like a chop is a classic, simple maneuver. A lot of people, when they hear a chop, obviously you're going to get the woo, because that's synonymous. Chops and Ric Flair, hand in hand.
Yeah.
But when you can take an iconic, simple move like a chop, like a kick, like a punch, and you can find a way to make that the elevation point of a match, that's when you know you're special.
Yeah.
And it's a compliment to you. And I'm not kissing ass. I don't ever do that. I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
But I would be honest and say, you know what? I don't think the chop is the one. But I'm very happy that that's the answer, because I think it is. When I'm up there, I'm 20 feet away from the ring.
Yeah.
And when I see you chop, I don't know how, but I feel it on my chest. Like there's a couple times where if the camera's not on me, I'm like,
yeah, I always think long-term goal here, right? Like wrestling is very much I don't want to say manipulation, but you tell the story to the fan, right? Over the course of the month, at different promotions, at different shows, at different clips, at different videos they see online, right? But if you tell them the story of, hey, this guy is this, and when they see it, it's legitimate and it's that, then you have them, right? Because you can change up any variation of the move. What do you do before or after, and you still hit the move, and people, it resonates with them a little more because they have a preconceived idea of who you are as a wrestler. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, people, Triple H hooks for, they know what's coming, right? Instead of just randomly out of nowhere, right? Like they know how this is his move that he's trademarked, right?
He's
over the
going
years.
For the pedigree.
Yeah.
As soon as those arm gets
hooked,
they
come up with
hit.
the seat,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things where you can tell the story, right? You can take the fan along for the ride, right? And you can see from month to month, right? Year to year. And they follow you, they can see, well, this is what he's good at. This is what he does. Okay, well, we believe it now because we've seen it live in person, so that there's such a psychology type of aspect to it,
And I love that. I love that we're getting down that psychology rabbit hole. But I also want to talk about early influences. I know, much like myself, you're a big Harlem Heat fan. One of the biggest.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, I know you appreciate Booker T.
Yeah.
But you're more of a Stevie Ray guy.
Yeah.
But me, I appreciate Stevie Ray, but I'm a Booker guy. Yeah. I always you look at any of those old school tag teams, and you always know who was going to kind of break out, in my opinion. And not to sound, Stevie Ray's had one hell of a career, Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah.
But you look at Slapjack and Booker T's solo careers.
Yep.
You knew that one was going to be the Shawn Michaels to the Marty Jannetty, but not saying Stevie Ray is nowhere close to a Jannetty. He's well far superior over Jannetty.
Yeah,
but why the connection with Slapjack? Why out of those two guys, again being one of the most iconic tag teams of all time? Why was the connection to Slapjack and not? Because when I look at you, I see Booker. I see that confidence, that cockiness. Whereas Stevie Ray, in the ring, he knew he could kill you. But he walked slowly and carried a big stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not the first person to make that comparison, man. I think it may have been RJ City at one point telling me, like, hey, man, like, you are very similar, just the way you act.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Booker T, like, very similar.
Minus the spin-a-rooney, you in early Booker T days, like when you go up for a kick, I see a Booker T kick. And that's the highest compliment because Booker T, two-time Hall of Famer, you can't argue with the resume of Booker T and the legacy left behind.
Yeah.
But what was the connection to Slapjack as opposed to not Booker?
Yeah.
You love the team, but you always resonate with one member more than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I've always secretly been a big fan of good tag teams.
Me too. I love tag team wrestling.
Good tag team wrestling, especially in that era where, call it what you want, man. Harlem Heat wasn't the corporate type of tag team, right? But they managed to have so many good matches back in the days, and it takes two, right? It takes both these guys to be in conjunction to make this work, right? And I always thought to myself, growing up watching like Thunder, Nitro, Saturday Night, I'd watch it all. Like I was a big WCW fan, right?
Me too. I was a Sting mark, hardcore Sting mark.
Okay, so I was like, okay, well, wait a second here. This is like interesting. Booker T does his thing, Stevie Ray does his thing, NWO. I just never ever like. I always thought to myself, like, man, it's. You can see the differences in the career. Obviously, one went a little higher, right? Like, quite. Hall of Famer status, right? Harlem Heat went in as a Hall of Fame, though, right?
They did.
Yeah,
Booker T went in separately as Booker T.
Yeah.
But Harlem Heat, I think it was 2 years ago now. 2 years ago, might have been 3, but they both got inducted. And I remember a lot of people saying, why is Harlem Heat getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
You don't even need to question that.
I know.
In the end, the WWE Hall of Fame is a wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Good or bad. There's a lot of guys that were inducted in the early years that weren't in WWE.
Yeah.
The Cologne's father.
Yeah.
Carlito Colon and his brother and Epico, their father, he's never stepped foot in a WWE ring, but he's in the WWE. So all of a sudden we're going to question Stevie Ray.
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Like I said, man, these two make up the iconic tag team, right? So with that we come to a conclusion of, well, they have to be a Hall of Fame team, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They had so many great matches, man. But to get back to your question, just his promos, his Stevie Ray promos are just fire, man. They're hilarious. They made me laugh so much. But the way he would deliver them, right? You know what I mean? With what he was wearing, a do-rag, this, that, like in every stage of his career. I just found it, like entertaining.
The entertainment value holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah. So good, man. You know what I mean? Because like I don't try to be Harlem Heat, but I always tend to, like, I have my character when I'm serious, but I like to throw in like some comedy within my promo, either mocking my opponent or something that, I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing. So it kind of comes across sometimes as a Harlem Heat-esque type of promo.
It actually does. It actually does.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I like them. You know what I mean? I like Stevie, I like Booker. Stevie's one of those guys where, revenge, WCW, NW Revenge. I just pick him. You know?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. He had better stats in Revenge than Booker did. He actually did. If you go back to Revenge, he did. Speaking of old school video games, you and I, we connected on Facebook because I saw you had hacked, I think, a PSP or a PS Vista at the time.
Yeah.
You had jailbroken it. You got some classic games on there.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember then you posted your Switch with Def Jam Fight for New York.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I am a big, I loved Vendetta.
Yeah.
But Fight for New York was the game.
That was the one.
The storyline, everything that could be done. I still have it on my original Xbox. I still play it. It hurts my eyes now because we're all used to 4K gaming,
man,
but I still play it.
Yeah.
But out of all the aspects of that story, which could easily be a movie, it was that good. You played that game, I know, multiple times like I have. What is your favorite part of that game? Like, for me, it's the free-for-all tournament.
Same here.
The Fatal 4-Ways, you build through the different venues. That
I was literally going to say that because there's just so much fun to be had there, man.
Yeah.
There's just so much gameplay. And so that's the character selection you have there. And all the environments are so interactive. And, like, it's such a great game, man.
It was so ahead of its time.
But
then they ruined it with Icon. They destroyed it with Icon.
I know. That game is freaking sick, man. I love that game. That game I have on my, actually bought on my PSP, on my PS2, and hacked and thrown on my Switch. And pretty much every tablet I have, whenever I have the device there, I'm
gonna rock Def Jam.
Yeah.
And it also had a killer soundtrack too.
So good.
The best soundtrack.
I know. And they all had like gimmick names, right? Like the rappers. It's great.
Stay blessed.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was I played rugby at the time that game came out.
Yeah.
So I would use the shit talking from Fight for New York when I was on the field. I'd knock somebody down, I'd lean over, I'd be like, yeah, that freight train that hit you, that was me.
I know.
Why you down there? Shine my shoes.
It's like Busta was like, I built the smash, you partner. It's like, so good, right?
Oh man! And then the clothing selection.
Oh yeah,
the
man.
tattoos, the jewelry.
The game was freaking sick.
One of the achievements was to buy $2 million worth of jewelry.
My goodness.
And I remember going there. I remember buying every piece of jewelry I could. I was up to like 1.8 million. I'm like, I can't buy any more. I bought in every piece. I basically had to buy two different earrings of the same earring just to get that achievement. It was stupid. And then I look back and I'm like, man, I had so much money and I spent $2 million. And look at me. At one point, I think the last menu, I got lazy and I stopped buying clothes, so I just wore my underwear. I'm like, I got all this gold dripped on me, but I'm just in my boxers.
I feel like if that game was to release in 2022, 2023, and with digital currency, you'd be spending real money for that stuff.
The VC, it'd be over. It'd be over. Actually, I have heard whispers that PlayStation is going back through their catalog, and they're looking at actually trying to get EA Sports to do one more because Icon was such a disaster.
I know.
Icon was brutal.
I know. It's always tough with licensing and certain guys and whatnot. That's why I always tell people, people ask me, hey, when are they going to do No Mercy a remake for Nintendo Switch? I'm like, never.
It's never coming. You better have the original one or else you're in problems. So what other games, like from that era of gaming, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s.
Late 90s.
What other games did you resonate with or have? Like, I look back at Zelda, the early Zeldas, as a fond memory. I look back at Mario Kart. I still play Mario Kart now and I still rock it out. But when you look back at like any of the games from like your childhood, what's a game that you hold, not so much your favorite game, but a game you're like, yo, that's a memory for me?
Oh, Resident Evil.
Okay.
Resident Evil series, Resident Evil.
Okay.
Oh man, the first Resident Evil, dude, that game was actually up to now, like
still ahead of its time.
And up to now, jump scare, like still.
Oh yeah,
you know?
You're right. No, the jump scares were on point.
It is, man, and that
what
was
about
PlayStation
Silent
1.
Hill? Would you compare the first Silent Hill to it?
Silent Hill was good. I would say Resident Evil over Silent Hill. Silent Hill was good, but Resident Evil was like, it came before Silent Hill series, but Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, 3, I had all those games for PlayStation, and I still play those games up to now, here and there, right? But they have all been remastered and stuff like that, you know. So Resident Evil was one. Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Which is coming on the Switch Virtual Console at the end of this year.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick, man.
And you can play online multiplayer mode.
Insane.
So you could play. So we'll obviously have to exchange Switch codes.
Yeah.
So I mean, to say I got killed by Tarik, I mean that's an honor.
Yeah, Perfect Dark. I know that was kind of like a sequel.
Yeah.
That,
Okay.
right? You know,
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark. Then we had Dreamcast. Dreamcast, like I was a big sports head too, so NBA 2K, 2K. Those games are great. You know what I mean?
The games are great, but I find myself I haven't bought a 2K game since 2020, and the only reason being is because it really is the same game.
Yeah, you're paying $100 for a roster update, right?
Yeah, and I'd rather just I still have 2020.
Yeah,
I still play it.
I know.
I can't play the online mode anymore.
Yeah,
but I still play it.
That's smart. The safe bet is to skip a year, then buy after, right? So if you bought 2K20, just skip 2K21.
And then
maybe
go to 22.
maybe opt in for 22, yeah. Because at that
okay.
point you've had some gameplay adjustments and changes. You know what I mean? But
That
other
they
than
always make it.
Yeah.
Well, the
yeah.
hyper realism on some of the graphics
Oh
are
my
insane.
goodness,
like
man.
the sweat, like
Oh,
dripping off guys.
insane.
Like some of the, but still the crowd. They all give the crowd the same face.
I know.
So we can do veins and muscle outlines to
I know,
perfection.
I know.
But everybody in the crowd has that one eye. There's always that one guy with an eye up here for some reason.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? it's like they either ran out of money or they stopped caring.
I'm waiting for the time where they can release something called that, like, and I'm just gonna coin it my invention here, but like dynamic crowd reactions, right? Because it's still it doesn't feel like you're playing a real basketball game. Like I feel like there should be, like the crowd doesn't react the way a crowd should react in certain situations, like a turnover or a power stolen pass or a bucket. You know, sometimes like I don't know if the crowd just glitches and there's no noise for certain things.
You're right.
There's no reactions.
But
right,
then
you
if
know?
you're playing in your home crowd and you're killing it with like a
Yeah.
45-point game,
Yeah.
MVP, those
Yeah.
chants
Yeah.
start. Or
Yeah.
if you're in the home state or
Yeah.
the away game at the other team,
Yeah.
you'll get the boo.
Yeah, you know,
But
like,
that's the only time I feel
Yeah.
like the crowd reactions are on point.
Yeah.
Like I've been frustrated sometimes. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I flagrant fouled the shit out of people. I always pick point guard because I
Yeah.
like to control the ball. I'm very controlling in my
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Or I'll pick center because
Yeah.
center is very easy to level up your stats
It
very
is,
quickly.
yeah, yeah.
Throw me the ball in. I'm just gonna dunk it. That's
Yeah,
the easiest way to get
yeah.
into a basketball game.
I know. It's like that's like the dynamic crowd, dynamic commentary. These are all the things. Because graphic-wise, like what more can you do at this point? I mean, with 120 frames, 160, 180 frames. Like it's so over the top, right? So you got to start channeling in. Let's start bringing in
Fine tune the background stuff.
Yes, let's start channeling crowds. Let's start channeling in lighting properly. Let's start channeling the hardware, the way it looks, the crowd, the commentary. Make sure that's on point. Make sure the crowd isn't the noise, the sound, like everything that all these things hit your brain, and it's like, oh my god, I'm like there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Actually,
Like,
that's
you know?
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
The background, and I think that's why we both resonate with Def Jam Fight for New York.
Oh, yeah.
Because the background. And another good match I hold a place in my heart, the train match.
Oh.
If you can launch somebody on the train. I mean, this was a game where you could murder people, but in fun ways.
Yeah, right. I don't think it would fly today. You know?
No, in this oversensitized society. I mean, let's think about it. Like people are complaining about the new Little Mermaid trailer because she doesn't have red hair, and
yeah.
this. I almost wish that we would go back to where we could just say what was on our mind, and not in a derogatory way, but say what needed to be said, and not everyone had this chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, why do we all have to have the? I feel like our generation is a lost generation now.
Yeah, you know, man, it's tough to really have a public statement or opinion on things, right? You know,
You're gonna get fucking crucified.
You know, pro or against, right? I mean,
I don't like
you know.
ketchup. Well, you're a fucking piece of dog shit. I hate your guts. Well, I don't like ketchup. I prefer mayonnaise in my French fries. Well, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah,
Like
man. You know, it's and I don't like mayonnaise for the record. You know.
No, I'm not a big. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of Miracle Whip, but only because of the way I say whip.
Oh, that's like the Stewie Griffin.
Yeah, I'm very Stu Griffin. Whip, cool whip, whip. I'm very much. I overemphasize on the P.
Yeah, it's
I'm
true
very
though, man.
overemphasizing.
People just, you know, we are at times living in a very oversensitized or overreacting type of generation. You know what I mean?
Everybody's got
Yeah.
a chip. It's almost like you're. And I get it. Every parent wants
Social
like.
media has a lot to do with it.
Social media has a
Yeah,
huge part. Like when
yeah.
we were kids, if you got bullied or picked on, you took your lumps at school or you gave your lumps at school, and then when you went home, you were safe. But
Right.
now the bullying doesn't stop because
Yeah, I know.
it can follow its way home. And it's as somebody who's got a little one, like I
Yeah.
myself, I have the mini host you sat down with.
Yeah.
She's almost a teenager. Fucking
Oh,
kill
my
me.
goodness, yeah.
And then I have my 6-year-old at home, Ariana, and she's kind of working. She's in grade 1 now, and she's
Yep.
working. You know,
Yep.
leveling up in life, if you will.
Yep.
As a parent, what's the thoughts of like when you got to take the little man to school or anything like that? Like first day of school, I don't know about you. First day of school was very hard for
Yeah.
both kids. Say goodbye because I'm like, damn man, like blink of an eye, kindergarten,
Yeah,
like holy
tell me
shit,
about
man.
it, I know. Well, he's our son has been with us. You know, like barely, couldn't find a time where he wasn't with us, right? You know, and to there's a bit of separation anxiety on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the first day of school, there's a little waterworks even from my end. You know,
course, of
because
course.
you know you're telling him, okay, son, you can go.
But
go.
he's your twin.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
he's totally your twin.
yeah.
But actually, I will say this: he's got way more style than you. Like you got flow and style, but he if you look at again, if you're honored enough to be on his Facebook, which I am, we're Facebook people. Some of the pictures, some of the stories, and I love how every post you have starts with "bruh."
Yeah. Well, that's just creating a social media presence, by just
Bruh.
telling it over and over and over.
Like Scott Hall used to. Hey yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey yo.
But yeah, man, a little bit of waterworks on our end here, on his end. It's like, okay, you can go. And he's just looking at us like, is it okay to go? Yeah, go ahead, man, go ahead. And then he goes, and then it's like out of sight, out of mind. You walk off like a Band-Aid, right? And it's gonna still take him a few days, to kind of, might even take him, who knows, might take him a month. He still has the same type of, but when he's there and we pick him up, man, he has such a great day. I had a great day, Dad. I had a great day, Mom. That was amazing. We did this, and I met so-and-so, and we played in the gym. I went to a real gym.
Real, not a fake gym,
Not a fake
real
gym. Yeah, none of those fake gyms.
Real gym, our big boy gym.
Oh,
We went to the
no.
big boy gym.
So yeah, man, it's crazy, man. This is crazy. I get to see them grow so quickly, and
It's almost like the blink of an eye, eh?
I know.
Like he was just there, just held him in the arms for the first time, and then boom, now he's in kindergarten.
I know.
And before you know it, he's gonna be going to high school, and it's like it just moves.
Let's not talk so far.
I know
about that.
time moves so far.
I don't like to wish his life away, but the time goes quick.
It does. I find when you're a parent or when you become a parent,
Yeah.
time goes by. This is an interesting point to make and ask. I always tell people, because when my first daughter was born, I was scared shitless.
Really? Yeah.
One, because it was a girl, and I'm like, I don't have any igglings for this at all. But also, two, just because you always want to do better than the previous generation.
Yes.
So you want to pass on certain things, but there's also things you'd like to leave behind.
Yep.
And I was just nervous about what if I make the wrong moves. And then she was born, and I held her for the first time, and all that fear and all that anxiety, it just went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it did. I felt like a woman becomes a mother when she finds out she's pregnant. I find that a man becomes a father when he holds his child for the first
Very
time.
true.
Would you agree with that statement?
Very true, man. Yeah, like spot on, dude. I remember holding my son there and just looking at this little human being like, oh my goodness, man, like this is actually a real thing, right? This is reality right now, right? For a man, it kind of kicks in at that point, right? As a woman, I can never tell you what it feels like to be a woman. I'm not a woman, right?
No, absolutely.
So, but holding him for the first time, he doesn't know me, I don't know him, but this is my son. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. Like, what do I do? Like, there's no instruction guide, There's no,
There's no cheat
there ain't
codes here.
there ain't no strategy guide, bro. Right, so I'm just like, oh my goodness, man, what do and you just learn as you go, right? Changing this, feeding, like, just learn as you go, and we work as a team to try to make it happen. There's some ups and downs between both parents and try to make it work together, and
Also trying to find that alone time.
It's troublesome.
Times just to do what you used to do before. Hun, you know what? It's Sunday night. I don't feel like cooking. You don't feel like cooking. Let's go out.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hun, you want to go out for dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just got to get the little man together. We got to get his shoe. We should bring a jacket because it's probably going to be cold later. Okay, should we bring his PJs now just to be safe, change with the
my
car?
goodness,
Then
yeah,
an hour goes by and you're like, you want to just order pizza?
It sounds like my house. It legitimately sounds like my house right now. Like, legit, yeah. So, I mean, you have to make these plans and, make sure you get a change of clothes, this, that, and the other. Make sure we got this. Make sure we pack this. Like, we're going to the creek just to hang out. Oh, we got to pack all this. Oh, yeah. We got to grab this, grab the bag, do this, do it.
Snacks for the car ride.
That's right.
Does his iPad charge? Are we good?
Man, this man knows, man. Yeah, so, but yeah, man, I mean, either way, it's a great blessing, man. I'm happy,
is.
It really
It absolutely
is.
is.
Yeah, I'm happy. There's some ups and downs, and it's challenging, and I'm sure you'll tell me too. It's a challenge. It never gets any easier. It just changes.
The layers. I look at it to be cliche. To quote Shrek, actually, the layers of the onion.
Yeah.
You peel them away, the layers get smaller. The problems seem to get more challenging as the age goes by. And the best I could say is roll with the punches, because every kid is different.
Every kid is different, yeah.
I can't tell you how he's going to be when he's 13.
Yeah.
I can only tell you how she is when she's 13.
That's right, yeah.
And that's what it is. But here's a question, because my wife and I, when we do find that alone time, and like we actually get them down to bed at a decent time, and we have those 2 hours, maybe we can watch something, chill out. What's the go-to for you guys? For my wife and me, she's a wine girl. I'm not, but I will drink a glass of wine with her. We'll put out some popcorn. We'll try to watch a movie, and then we usually end up falling asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
But what's like when you do find that alone time with the missus? What's the go-to for you guys?
Yeah, it's similar. Like, we'll just kind of stick to just being together and watching like a show or a movie and just enjoying like dinner or snacks or ice cream or something that we can just kind of share a bit of time.
What's your ice cream? What is Punch Kick Chop Tariks go-to ice cream?
There's this There's this kind. Let me see if I remember the name of it. It's called Unicorn, right? So it's sold from marble slab.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And it's like cotton candy,
Okay.
banana, strawberry, and vanilla all mixed in, and I get extra sprinkles and cookie dough all mixed. It's insane, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
insane.
that's like diabetes in
I
a
know.
cup,
Oh,
but it's
I
worth
know.
it. It's
I know.
worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. So
You
that.
work a little harder at the gym the next day, though, right?
Yeah. So there's that, and then I like straight up cookie dough. That's me. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah. So we often have in our freezer there something that's like seriously chocolatey. I don't like heavy chocolate. It's weird.
So who's the heavy chocolate? Your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I don't do a vanilla. All me. My boy, vanilla. Right.
You know, I will do pralines and cream.
Really.
I like that little crunch. But not an over crunch. I just like that little. Oh, that's something new. That's nice. I like those.
Yeah. I did once try vegan ice cream, and let's just say I didn't finish it.
Yeah. Ice cream is ice cream for a reason. You got to have the cream in it. You have to.
Yeah. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right. One more question, then I want to play a game with you, and then I'm going to let you prepare for everything. 12 years in this business, ups and downs, clawing for opportunities, now being a household name here in the Indies.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate goal for Tarik for the rest of 2022, going into 2023?
Yeah, I knew you'd ask that question. I don't really like to have, I have a long-term goal in my head. Eventually is to be successful and do this as my main full-time income, right? Like that's the end goal. However, the goal to get towards that is just trying to have the best matches I can with everybody and anyone, right? Whether that means 8-hour car ride here, 6-hour flight here, 3-hour drive here, 12-hour drive here. Just trying your best to stand out on that show, because it's challenging as a Canadian.
It is. There's a lot of red tape that people don't realize.
And that's not just an excuse, because there are a few that have broken out, and they've broken out for a reason. They're very, very talented wrestlers, right? But that's my goal, man, to have the best matches I can with absolutely everyone. Everyone and anyone. Hardcore, right? Guys you wouldn't expect to have that type of match. Guys that wouldn't expect me to have that type of match, right? Technical wrestling, right? A little more of an intense, strike style type of matchup, right? Submission type match. You can just try to mix up. I try to be creative, right? That's what helps me go. That's what helps me go from one to the next, right? So it's not just, it's Saturday and Sunday. It's wrestling time. Think about this stuff through the week, right? What are some things that I can change and do? Maybe
how to build and construct these stories to make sure they translate.
Because I still really, really enjoy wrestling. We all have our ups and downs and doubts in life. Even with me with wrestling, that pandemic did a lot to me mentally. I don't ever share these things anyways, because it's well, should I even continue here? Because a lot of who I was before, 2017, 2019, just wasn't available to me anymore, right? It's just me doing my own thing now. But that turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely did. I feel the best version of Tarik I've seen in 2021.
Yeah.
I feel like 2021 and 2022 is where I really started to see you stand out way more than you already do. Yeah. And that's a testament to who you are.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah,
so before we play the game, I want to thank you again for this time, for the honor of not doing podcasts too often, but for sitting down with a conversation with me. That's amazing.
Incredible. Hey, man, you're welcome, brother. This will probably be the last one, man.
Well, last one with me or last one ever?
Probably ever.
Yes, I got it. It's in the can. All right, so the game I want to play with you, I feel would be challenging. I usually play either two options. Forced Mount Rushmore, where I pick 5 wrestlers at random, and you've got to rank them from 5 to 1. 5 being the worst, 1 being the best. Or the choice game, where I give you 2 choices, and you say the first thing that comes off your mind.
Let's do the choice game.
You want to do the choice game? All right, here we go. You ready? Nintendo or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Chicken or burgers?
Burgers.
Poutine or just regular French fries?
Poutine.
Red wine or white wine?
Red wine.
Not too chocolatey or over chocolatey?
Not too chocolatey.
I knew you were going to say that. I already knew that one. And the final question, this is a big one. Stevie Ray or Booker T?
Stevie Ray. Could you imagine if we just swerved him?
Oh, he said Booker T. All the wrestling world was set ablaze.
What if I said Ahmed Johnson? And that's where we end the tape.
Yeah, thanks so much for. All right, Tarik, thank you again so much. And before you go, please shout out your socials that you want people to follow, so we can keep up on the journey that is Punch, Kick, Chop, Tarik.
Yeah, so Instagram, Punch, Kick, Chop _Tarik. Facebook, Tarik, I'm on there. I'm really into video games, so Handheld Game Guy on Instagram. Twitter, Tarik Hates You, which I've actually been thinking about changing to Tarik Loves You. But we'll see.
Garlic.
Garlic loves
Tarik
you.
loves garlic.
Oh, I think we're on some here, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Shout out to the little man for garlic.
Appreciate you, bro.
The
Thank you,
alter
man.
ego. All right, guys. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode on all available podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. Also, check us out on YouTube at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And if you feel the need to buy some sweet merch, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Leaving the scene with no trace, not in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going state to state.